Good morning. Our hand today is going to be pocket tens. So we have villain one, open raising. He's playing a 28-15 type of style. It's in early position. His early position stats are 24% VPIP, 23% pre-flop raise. I do have a lot of hands on this player. So I think we could probably safely go up to about 23, 24. I think that is pretty reliable. And it is us. So we have a calling range here in mid position. I think this is okay. We could 3-bet. His fold 3-bet set's 31. We do have a player behind us that could call. He's playing 34-4, but he's pretty passive. I think 3-betting's fine here. I think calling's probably okay here. I just called, I believe. I think that's typical. I think I'd start to 3-bet if I'm seeing that we've got a lot of loose players, or if we've got a player that just seems to be super loose. So what I don't want to do is 3-bet and then only have these players call with, ace king, ace queen, aces, kings, queens, jacks type hands, because if they call, then I'm going to be in bad shape. Whereas now with the tens, I could call. I might be able to catch them with extra hands in their range, and these could be extra hands that they would pay a bet or two, so to win me more money. So I think the call is fine. Villain 6-3 bets to 8. Not overly big, especially for being out of position. His 3-bet stats 2%. When we look at his big blind, it's 32% VPIP, 5% pre-flop raise. He has 3-bet once. That could have been versus a steal. And it does look like 3-bet versus steal. He's 3-bet one other time. Well, no, 2%. So 6 out of 304 times he's 3-bet. I think he's probably playing pretty tight with his 3-bet stats. So his 3-bet range that we have is ace jack off, 9, queens plus. So probably ace jack suited broadways, or I'm sorry, ace jack plus, probably 8 or 9s plus. Let's build this range. So with it, if he raises, we're probably looking at something like this. At least at 6%, it still seems a little tight, but maybe those 6 hands, those 2% is based on situations. So here's this could be an obvious squeeze situation, so maybe he goes a little bit wider here. Maybe he is a little bit tighter. So, if we get rid of those jacks, we just do queens plus ace king. That is 2.5%. That seems to be, that kind of matches his percent, even though we do have him 3-betting with those types of hands. I think for being out of position, he could be tighter. He's probably in this range, queens plus ace king, maybe just kings plus ace king. So he raises, villain one folds, and it's on us. What do we do? This is technically a 3-bet. I do think when we look at hands like these, we have to consider where we're sitting, and I think we could probably continue with basically everything. Folding's not going to be terrible. We can't beat queens plus ace king. So, I think some people would say folding's awful. You're folding equity, you're folding the pair. But at the same time, when we consider his range, he could be a hard ahead. Now, ace king does constitute 16 of his combos versus 12 combos for kings and aces. So it's going to be more likely that he's unpaired with ace king than has kings or aces. So I think calling here. We already called once. We could tighten up a little bit. Maybe we get rid of 7s and 8s, but we're going to play for some set mining. So we call, and the flop comes down 7-3-2. Now with villain 3-betting, I do expect him to c-bet basically most of his hands. That includes the ace king as well. So he bets actually more on the larger size at 14.2 big blinds. Is he going to bet that with everything? Yeah, I think he's got, he's going to have to be worried about the club draw. So, sets, over pairs. Whoops, hold on, this is his hands. Sets, over pairs. Really, when you look at his no-made hands, we're talking about ace king. So if we include the queens, we've got 18 pocket pairs versus 16 ace kings. He's going to be much more likely that he has a pocket pair. But at the same time, I do think he's probably just going to c-bet everything, even with ace king. So I think that's going to be 100% bet. We do have a pair. We could raise here. And really, that kind of tells us where we're at. I see all the high pocket pairs calling here. So I'm not sure if raising accomplishes anything. This could be versus some people. We don't expect. So let's go back to like villain 1. If villain 1, it was just villain 1 and myself and villain 1 c-bets, I think this could be a spot. We don't think villain 1's going to connect with this flop very much. Yes, he could have some pocket pairs, but villain 1 also had a bunch of offsuit or unpaired cards. Ace jack, king jack, queen 10. He had a bunch of those, so I don't think this board hits him. So we could raise. We don't. All we have is 10s. All we have is 10s, and by raising, we kind of force villain to call with call and hope to hit something like a jack or a queen or a king or an ace on the flop. I think calling is probably also okay versus that villain. So here, I think folding would be weak. So I think we do call with 10s, and then the jack of diamonds comes out. Oops, what else are we going to call? I think we're calling with all of our over pairs. We're going to call with our flush draws. Our over cards, I don't think we're going to call them unless they're part of 2-card backdoor flush draws. I think we're going to be pretty tight on our calls. All right, so then we get jack of diamonds. I think if villain bets again, he's probably looking at overpair. So he bets half pot here. Half pot could be flush draw. So ace king clubs, ace king diamonds. I think that could be in his flush draw range. And then, of course, the overpair. So 58%. When you look at it, we're just way behind. What we could do now is raise. We're making a stab, but by raising, we're kind of committing. We're hoping that a club or a diamond doesn't fall on the river. And even then, we could still be behind to, the overpair, because he's just going to be so heavy on the overpair that I think at this point with the 10s, again, some people would say you're going to be too tight to fold. I just think his 3-betting range is super tight. So I think I made the mistake by calling. I think I should have just folded here. Let's see here. I think we should have just folded. I think we have our flush draw that could call. Because I do think even if the flush draw gets there, villain's probably gonna call if he has kings or aces. Not even sure if top pair calls here. I think sets definitely call, so 7s and jacks. So yeah, I think I made a mistake by calling here. 9 of diamonds hits. Villain 6 bets again. Now he bets even smaller. Could he be scared of the diamond? Yeah, he could be. But if you look at it, he's betting, under half of what I have. So I think he's betting flush overpair. That's what he's betting. He's betting solid hand. I was stubborn and called again. I think the call. I think we raise with the flush. I think we could probably raise with the set at this point, but calling could be appropriate. I think we're behind the ace jack. So we did see it. So let's see what Villain's doing, because we could take it out. He had kings. It's kind of just what I expected. He's tight. He has got a tight range. Yes, he had ace jack. He had 9, but to raise it out of position and keep betting, it just seems like aces, kings, or queens. You don't know a whole lot of people that do this with ace king all the way. So I made the mistake. This just a sick hand. I shouldn't have played it, or I should have folded it post flop. Probably not the flop. I don't think on the flop, but I think on the turn, and definitely on the river. I mean, do I really think I'm gonna be able to win with 10s? No, I don't think so. This was a very sick donkey like play. Awful. So hopefully you enjoyed this hand. If you do, look tomorrow for another one.